What's up? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I am Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me I have some more RPG horror stories. I got thinking, I know it's like the start of fall season and October and Halloween season is way in the future. You know how like I can put the book on me? I might dress myself up in like silly hats or something. Maybe masks or I don't know. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll cosplay or something. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to some RPG horror stories for today. My take on paid games. I really do believe that people should be paid for providing a service, and DMing is a lot of work, so this is hard to say, but most of the paid DMs I've met should not be charging. They are unable to conceptualize that if they're charging for a service, they need to be professional about it. DM 1 sent me a dick pic after sessions, so I left. Tried to follow me to other platforms to apologize, so I told him to stop because I didn't care if it was a mistake. Fortunately, he refunded me and stopped. I don't get it. Did you pay for the dick pic or the game? Or was the dick pic like a bonus? Imagine if the DM was like, this player seems to be really enjoying my game. I guess I'll throw in a dick pic as a bonus. Just you keep it for yourself, honey. It's so good. Just enjoy yourself. What a weirdo. What a strange thing to do. Some people might be okay with like unsolicited ass in my DMs. Sure, might as well. Why not? But I mean, not everybody. If people wanted to see ass, they would have paid to see ass. They wouldn't pay for a DM to run a game. They're paying for a DM to run a game, and that's about it. You can hold off on everything else on your own. DM number 2. Didn't play with her, but she sent me a lot of links talking herself up. And when I said I couldn't join the game in 2 hours, she first said no problem, see you next week. Then came back and said she was losing money by me not coming to a game right away. I simply said okay. Then if the spot is still open after today, let me know. But I can't play this last minute. I get that she wants to make money, but like, don't offer to hold the spot in the first place. If you're having a hard time finding like a fill for a game, it shouldn't be that difficult. There are way more players out there than DMs, but like if a player can't make it, don't make it just so they can give you a paycheck or something. It's like the player wants to join, but like they can't right this minute. Don't make him feel guilty over it. Imagine if I made every single one of you watching feel guilty because you didn't like and subscribe this video, and therefore I can't pay for, I don't know. I'm not exactly making money on YouTube much, but I can't pay for my new horn shiner to make my horns all shiny. It's all your fault. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's just weird, man. DM 3. She was actually a really good DM, but I joined late and the timing didn't work out, so I had to drop. DM 4. Knew how to present as professional, but had no ability to keep his fetishes out of the game. Said the game was PG-13, but there was ERP. And he repeatedly used sexual consequences against female players. Creep. Unlike first DM, did not give me my $15 back after being a creep. To be honest, that $15 probably would have been covered in, well, let's call it splooge. Let's call it splooge. The $15 probably would have been covered in splooge, and you probably wouldn't want to touch it anyway. DM 5, great dude, love him, but didn't have the DMing skills to justify charging for it. Had too much pre-written stuff to read off. It was dizzying. DM 6 complained constantly about her other group not being engaged enough. Her other paid group. Bad luck. Loved the game because she made some gross comments about SA victims. DM 7. Great GM. Actually, I would probably pay him more. Great pacing, great combat, great moderating the table. DM 8. Amazing person, wonderful dude, professional, until we missed a few sessions and he just never seemed to be able to get the game back on track. Oh, scheduling, man, that's the killer. DM 9, cool dude, but I know he nukes his games frequently, including his paid games, so I don't join in. DM 10, sat at the table and did nothing for a couple of sessions, just regular boring. I'm having better luck with free tables and paying in snacks. 3 out of 10 of these GMs I would actually pay for. I don't know, guys. Be extra picky if you're paying for a service. Edit to add, please do not use the comments of this post to advertise how you, a paid DM, are the exception. Are there exceptions out there? Sure, understandably so. But I mean, if this is the experience that paying for a game gets you, then I mean, you're just better off just making your own game at that point, right? Like, I understand some players may not like the idea of being told like, well, why don't you DM? And I don't want to say it in a connotative way whatsoever. I genuinely mean it that learning about DMing and how to DM and starting your very own group gives you so much power. Power to make sure that you avoid creeps and scummy people and scummy behavior such as like forcing fetishes down people's throats. That sounds pretty fetishy. Forcing fetishes down people's characters, That also sounds fetishy. You know what I'm trying to say? Forcing fetishes into D&D games where they shouldn't be there instead of tucking them away in your sex dungeon like a normal, regular person ever. If I can do it, then I mean, if anybody else can do it, then it should be fine for you as well to make sure that you keep your weird, creepy fetishes out of your D&D games, unless it's the kind of game you're running in the first place. But as a DM, you have the power to be able to control who is in and what kind of pacing you're gonna have and learning about DMing and stuff. And then at that point, you can encourage your friends to do that too. And then all you just with friends rotate out who's DMing and stuff, and then just it becomes less about paying somebody to DM and more about spending good quality time playing some TTRPGs. I never played in a paid game, nor would I really want to, nor would I really want to DM a paid game. I just want to DM for fun. I want to tell stories and share stories with other players and have good laughs at a table, whether it be real table or virtual table. D&D is just D&D. I don't want to feel incentivized or pressure to put on a specific type of experience when it comes to being paid or whatever. I just want to be a DM and just have some fun and have players that want to have fun. But before this topic ends, we got a whole other story about paid DMs as well. This whole episode is going to be about paid DMs. Let's get right into it. Paid game problems. On a Saturday afternoon, I join a paid game that meets on Tuesdays. I read through the character creation rules, send the DM my character sheet on D&D Beyond, and ask the chat sometimes before my first session to introduce myself and go over a few questions. Sharing my time zone, I tell them I can be free pretty much whenever. Just give me a time and I'll be on Discord. DM gets back to me on Monday, telling me we can chat tomorrow, and thanks for sharing my character sheet. I check Discord Tuesday morning, ask again when you want to meet, and go about my day. At some point, he messages me, "Are you available now?" I could have been, but now it is 2 hours later. I let him know I'm free. I don't hear from him until 15 minutes before the session starts. We jump in a private chat on Discord. I have questions about the party, the story, his house rules, all of which I have a hard time getting in as he tells me about the past exploits of his other games. We have reached game time, and I see other players in the main chat, so I indicate maybe we should join them. He says not to worry, as one player will be late. I know I'm kind of cutting off a little bit early here, but I feel like the problem with this DM at this moment is not respecting other people's time. If you know other people around different time zones and stuff, the least you can do is understand what their available time is, and if you're flexible, make yourself available for that sort of thing and schedule something. Don't just be like, "I'll just contact you tomorrow," and then never respond and just out of nowhere, "Are you free now? Are you free right now?" No, man, just schedule something. Listen, time zones are a pain. Time zones are a bitch. Have you ever tried living on East Coast and trying to schedule somebody from Australia? It is the worst. It is so difficult to try to get it right, and either they have to sacrifice their sleep and wake up early, or you have to sacrifice your sleep and wake up early, or one or the other have to stay up late and stuff. It's a nightmare. At the end of the day, as long as you have it properly scheduled out, it's not a big deal. But you gotta let people know ahead of time, not just drop in, "Hey, are you free now?" No, I'm not free, motherfucker. How am I supposed to do? Just wait on beck and call the whole time for you to contact me at that point to make myself available? I have my own life to live. I have my own shit to do, dude. Time zones are a pain. Schedules are a pain. But people that don't respect either one of those, they're the real devil. I meet the other players and warmly welcomed. When the DM says I need a character sheet on Roll20, I tell him I'm not very proficient with Roll20 as I use and prefer D&D Beyond. He insists I have a copy on Roll20, so pulls me into the private chat again and walks me through all the customization needed for his house rules. I am frantic, knowing that the other players are now waiting on me in a paid game. I apologize profusely when we return to the main chat. DM does not seem concerned. The session starts, albeit belatedly, in the middle of combat, which goes well, and I'm excited for my second session. This DM didn't even let you know you're going to be using a Roll20 character sheet. Aren't there ways to like import them back and forth? Maybe there aren't, I don't know. But I mean, at least the DM could have done be like, "Hey, listen, our requirement is setting yourself up on Roll20, so maybe take time to learn about the Roll20 beforehand, set up a character sheet." Maybe if the DM were to be nice enough and respect other people's time, they would have scheduled a time to go through with the character, not, 15 minutes before the game starts, so the player has to frantically do it and while making everybody else late. That is ridiculous. What is this DM doing? Not only this DM not respecting the player's time, this OP's time, but also not respecting everybody else's time, as everybody now has to wait because the DM has to do things their own special way. If this was any other situation where it was just the DM and the player taking the time, that'd be a whole other story, but they got other people waiting on them, and the only person that's making them wait and not delaying this further or getting it set up ahead of time is the DM. Session 2 begins with us waiting on one player. While I don't mind getting to know the other players, after 15 minutes I ask DM if he heard from the missing player. He says, I don't know, let me check. Apparently this player wasn't feeling well, but is on his way. We'll wait another 15 minutes before the player joins us. Some more chit-chat, then the eventual pause of group silence. I'm eventually the first one to speak up. So, looks like everyone's here. Should we get started? Indeed we do. We're at the yawning portal, and in need of a long rest after the combat, when one player decides to go off on his own through Waterdeep. Apparently he was staying at another inn? DM asks him to make a perception check, and then pulls him into the private chat on Discord. Time passes. Okay, listen, I'm guilty of it myself. Sometimes it's just easy to explain this stuff in Discord. If you need to pull a player to a Discord channel, like a special Discord channel, just to give them a quick rundown of what they're seeing instead of like typing it out or anything, or spoiling it for the rest of the players for whatever reasons, you can do it for like 30 seconds, a minute tops, not over a minute. If it goes over a minute, that's clearly not respecting other players' time. Because you gotta be quick, man, you gotta be quick. People are waiting. People are also paying for this game. If this was any other game, like a free game where friends are just getting together, that'd be one thing, right? But like this is a paid game. The least you can do is offer the top tier service that you can and respect the people that are paying you money for this. And this DM is definitely not respecting the time of their customers at this point. Yeah, customers. The customers aren't getting the bang for the buck, and the DM is not being exactly the most respectful to them. I mean, he's not being rude, but I mean, if your least bare minimum is not being rude as part of respect, and you're not going to put on the best possible effort that you can, then why are you charging people for this? You're charging people for a service. You got to provide them the service. If your service sucks, then people are not going to want to pay you. What's the point of them paying you if you're just going to be treating them like they're free players or something? I don't know, man. It's just weird. This is why when I think about D&D and like paid games and stuff, I can't see. It gets so complicated. It is so complicated, and just it's so much easier to keep it casual and keep it free, you know, among friends and stuff. But maybe I'm just not an experienced DM and I don't have the experience of a paid DM, so what the hell do I know? I'm just a tiefling on the internet talking to a book that's forever glued to my hand. What do I know? We're into the second hour of the session when they return, and I make the tragic mistake of asking if I can spend 50 gold to buy scale mail before we follow our next lead. This leads the party into an hour-plus shopping session, an extended deliberation of whether to buy 100 gold pearl and scroll of identifying for a possible magic item we found. Identify was required as one of the house rules, and oddly we had a wizard without detect magic or identify, and an artificer unwilling to allocate preparer spell slots for them. An hour? This is how it should go. Hey DM, I'd like to buy 50 gold scale mail. Sure. Boop. Add it to your inventory. Go ahead and subtract 50 gold from your sheet. Thanks DM. That's it. That's it. It's that easy, people. It's that easy. Or if you have like, I don't know, Foundry, I set it up to be automatic. If somebody wants to buy something, they just double click on an NPC like it's a video game, click on the item they want to buy, click purchase, the item is automatically added to them. They can change up their inventory and equip the new item or sell the other item for half the cost, and that's it. Simple as that. Shopping can be super fun as like an in-between stuff, but not if it's like gonna take up time from the main session. Then we go on a 15-minute break. We're into hour 3 of a 3-hour session, and DM is telling us about Japanese longbows. Images are posted in Discord. DM likes to do this, and the evil side of me suspects he's intentionally filibustering. Throughout the session, he shares random lore about the head of Vecna and how longbows should be strength-based, not dexterity-based weapons. I'm a teacher, and my disposable income, while disposable, is not infinite. At this point, all I'm thinking of is the movie I could have paid to see instead of sitting here. I tell the other players they're good players and I enjoyed the session. I politely thank the DM and I tell him I just have a different playstyle. You do have a different playstyle, a smart playstyle that kind of saves money and time of other people because they're paying for a session and DM is not providing them with the entertainment that they're paid for, because guess what? The DM, you're being paid to provide a service, and if you're not providing the service, then what the hell are you even here for? Listen, I'm getting a little bit too fired up on this, but I mean, like, listen, if people are paying you for a service, the least you can do is be respectful of the time, respectful of the service that they paid you to do the service they paid you to do. You don't have to, you don't have an expectation to be like a 10 out of 10 DM. You don't expect to be Matt Mercer, just somebody that respects people's time and the money invested. and make sure that people that are joined for the game are having to run efficiently without any sort of filibustering or distractions or anything or slowdowns, and just make things efficient. All you need to run a decent paid game, have the combat be good, stories be compelling, be open to player input for the characters and what they want to do, and respect people's time. And maybe just be a fun person to be around. I mean, that last one is definitely kind of important for sure, because, I mean, people would want to come back with you if you're really fun to be around. But, I mean, if you can at least get the 4 first ones done, then I think you're good. But at the same time, what do I know? I'm just a tiefling on the internet with a book glued to my hand. What would I know about paid games? If I'm paying money for a service, right? Not even for an object or a thing, I'm paying money for a service. I expect the service to be worth the money. And I don't know how much a paid game usually. I mean, are they going to be like what? Are they like what per hour? Like $10 an hour, $15 an hour, maybe $20 a session or something? I'm not fully sure. But I mean, if you're going to be getting paid for something, you might as well provide the best possible service and respect the people that are paying you and give them the service that they're paid for. If you're not giving the service they're paid for and just wasting the hours away, then you're not exactly doing a great job. And with all my ranting out of the way, I'm just glad that OP was able to get himself out of that situation, and hopefully they'll find themselves into a different game, or maybe they will start a game with their friends or something, or somebody they know. I don't know, but I wish them all the best. And with that, that's going to be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.